Hey there, Letters Daily family. What time are you watching this video, and where are you tuning in from? Drop a comment below, I'd love to hear from you. Alright, let's dive right into today's letter and see what unfolds.
It began like any other day, a seemingly ordinary morning, until I found the letter. It was tucked away in my mailbox, hidden among bills and junk mail, but something about it caught my attention immediately. There was no return address, no stamp, just a plain envelope with my name scrawled across it in a handwriting that felt eerily familiar. I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd seen it before, but for the life of me, I couldn't remember where. Curiosity piqued, I opened the envelope and unfolded the single sheet of paper inside. The contents were bizarre, a list of predictions, detailing events in my life with unsettling precision. At first, the predictions seemed harmless enough: what I would eat for breakfast the next day, scrambled eggs and toast, the exact color of the shirt I'd wear, blue, and other trivial details. But as I read on, the predictions became increasingly specific, and disturbingly accurate. The letter predicted that my friend Sarah would call me at 3:42 p.m. the following day with bad news. It even described her tone of voice, shaken, almost on the verge of tears. I dismissed it as a coincidence, until the next day, when my phone rang precisely at 3:42 p.m. It was Sarah. Her voice quivered as she told me that her mother had been in an accident. The exact words and timing matched the letter's prediction. My heart pounded as I reread the letter, my hands trembling. Each prediction it contained had come true, as though the writer had some uncanny ability to glimpse into my future. But it was the final prediction that truly chilled me to the bone. The letter stated, in no uncertain terms, that I would meet an untimely death on a specific date, just a few weeks away. I tried to dismiss it, convincing myself it was just an elaborate prank. But as each prediction continued to come true, I couldn't shake the growing sense of dread. Who had sent the letter? How did they know so much about my life? And most importantly, could the final prediction be avoided? As the predicted date drew closer, my anxiety skyrocketed. I found myself obsessively rereading the letter, trying to find any loophole, any possible way out. I started avoiding certain places and people, hoping to change the course of events. I even tried to alter my routine, thinking that if I could disrupt the chain of predictions, I might break free from whatever twisted game this was. But the more I tried to escape it, the more inescapable it seemed. Every decision I made, every step I took, somehow led me closer to the date marked in that letter. It was as if my life was no longer my own, as if I was merely a puppet being manipulated by some unseen force. I became paranoid, isolating myself from friends and family, not wanting to involve them in whatever curse had befallen me. I stopped answering my phone, too terrified of what the next call might bring. I barely slept, plagued by nightmares of the impending date. The once comforting walls of my home now felt like a prison, closing in on me as the days ticked by. And then, there were the dreams. Vivid, terrifying dreams that seemed to blur the line between reality and nightmare. I dreamt of shadowy figures, their faces hidden, their voices whispering in a language I couldn't understand. But their message was clear: the date was inevitable. No matter what I did, no matter where I ran, my fate was sealed. Desperate for answers, I began researching the handwriting on the letter. I scoured old journals, school papers, anything that might hold a clue. And then, I found it, a letter from my late grandfather. The handwriting was a perfect match. But how could that be? He had died years ago, long before any of the events predicted in the letter could have happened. This revelation only deepened the mystery. Was this some kind of message from beyond the grave? Had my grandfather, in his final moments, somehow foreseen my future? Or was someone using his handwriting as a cruel joke, playing on my fears and insecurities? I reached out to an old family friend, a retired detective, hoping he might help me unravel the mystery. He agreed to take a look at the letter, though he was skeptical at first. But after examining it, his expression grew serious. "This isn't just a prank," he said quietly. "Whoever wrote this knew things they shouldn't have. This is beyond anything I've seen." His words sent a chill down my spine. If even a seasoned detective was unnerved by the letter, what hope did I have of escaping its prediction? The days flew by, and before I knew it, the date was only a day away. My fear had morphed into a cold, numb acceptance. I had tried everything, changing my routine, seeking help, even considering leaving town, but nothing worked. The letter's prophecy loomed over me like a dark cloud, inescapable and all-consuming. On the eve of the fateful day, I sat in my living room, staring at the letter one last time. My thoughts were a chaotic jumble of regret, fear, and resignation. If this was truly my last night, I wanted to make peace with it. I wrote letters to my loved ones, trying to explain the unexplainable, and prepared myself for whatever was to come. The next morning, I awoke with a strange sense of calm. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and for a brief moment, I allowed myself to believe that it had all been a cruel joke, that the prediction wouldn't come true. But as the day wore on, the dread returned, gnawing at the edges of my sanity. I avoided any risky situations, no driving, no leaving the house. I even avoided using sharp objects, paranoid that any small accident could be the one that fulfilled the prophecy. As the clock ticked closer to the predicted time, I found myself frozen with fear, waiting for the inevitable. And then, something happened that I didn't anticipate. At the exact moment the letter predicted my death, there was a knock on the door. But I was drawn to it, as if compelled by some unseen force. I opened the door slowly, bracing myself for whatever horror awaited me. But instead of a sinister figure or a deadly trap, I found nothing, just an empty doorstep. Confused and relieved, I turned to close the door, but something caught my eye. There, lying on the ground just outside my door, was another letter. My hands trembled as I picked it up, my heart racing. It was identical to the first letter, same plain envelope, same familiar handwriting. I tore it open, my mind racing with possibilities. Inside was a single line, written in the same eerie script, "You've been spared, for now." The letter offered no explanations, no closure. Just a cryptic message that left me with more questions than answers. I should have felt relief, gratitude even, but all I felt was a lingering unease. What did "for now" mean? Was this nightmare truly over, or was it just the beginning of something even more terrifying? In the weeks that followed, I tried to move on with my life, but the shadow of that day still loomed over me. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched, that something or someone was still out there, waiting. I changed my routines, moved to a new apartment, and even considered changing my name, but nothing seemed to rid me of the paranoia that had taken root in my mind. I kept the letters, tucked away in a drawer, a constant reminder of the ordeal I'd survived. But I knew better than to think I was safe. The predictions had been too accurate, the events too perfectly timed. Whoever, or whatever, was behind them was still out there, and they weren't done with me yet. And so I live each day with a sense of impending doom, always looking over my shoulder, waiting for the next letter to arrive. Because deep down, I know the truth: you can't outrun fate, and you can't escape the future when it's already been written.
If you enjoyed this letter and want more content like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell for daily updates. Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your opinions and reactions. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.